Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of Coffee with Chris, the podcast-esque thing that was made mostly for me, but I figured I might as well put it out there in case anyone really, would want to join in, would want to rant with me, because that's what this channel is about. It's gonna be me mostly talking about stuff that happens in my life, maybe replying to comments, those kinds of things. It's just gonna be a lot of random stuff. And it won't always make sense. I'm gonna warn you up front. Not everything I say will make sense to you. Sometimes it's just one of those gotta go with it situations. And another thing that's a little special with this is that I do very minimal editing, which is to say the only editing I really do is I put in some background music, because I found out that kind of makes it a little better if there's just that noise in the background. And I turn this audio session into a video so I can upload it to YouTube. That is all the editing I do. I have a cat. His name is Lucifer. He meows sometimes, and you will be able to hear him in the background. The episodes are named Coffee with Chris, and that's because I do it while I drink my morning coffee. That is to say, you'll hear me slurping every now and then. You'll find that I take short breaks just to breathe or drink or something like that, and I'm gonna do that now, for example. My coffee's still a little bit warm, so maybe you heard a slurp, maybe you didn't. And in all honesty, that is kind of the point. I'm trying to get at this thing in a slightly different way, because there are enough podcasts out there. You don't need another one. I don't need another one, and I'm the one making this thing. So I'm trying to make this more of a comfy hangout kind of thing, where we can just talk. We can drink some coffee or tea or whatever it might be you're drinking. And yeah, my goal is to do all kinds of fun community activities if a community actually arises. But until then, my goal is to make these for myself. 'Cause reasons. And you'll get to know those reasons if you do listen to the episodes. I'll get to explore my reasonings slightly deeper, because I'm not entirely sure what motivates me to do this, aside from the fact that I talk a lot in real life, and it's really difficult for me to keep my mouth shut sometimes, even in scenarios where I wish I could keep my mouth shut. And so this is my outlet. You guys, this channel, it's an outlet for me. And I want you to know that even though I'm making this for me, well, if I get even one subscriber and that subscriber actually listens to my episodes and comments on them, I will engage. I don't mind that. I actually think that would be an interesting thing to explore, but it's not something I'm counting on. I'm not sitting here thinking I'm gonna be the next this or the next that. A year from now, 2 years from now, I'm counting on still being sort of a nobody, but maybe being a nobody with a podcast that a couple of people listen to, or just a nobody with a podcast that no one listens to, but where he gets to release some of his frustrations. I don't know how you feel about that. I'm not even sure how I feel about that, to be honest, because it's a little scary to put yourself out there like this. For the past month or so, I've been doing this just at home, just for myself. I haven't even listened to the episodes, and that's another thing I want you to know. I don't listen to the episodes through. These are all done as one takes. I get started, I talk, put in the background music, I turn it into a video, and I upload it to YouTube. That is the effort I put in. One reason for that is it would turn into kind of a job, and it would stop being about me ranting if I did start editing and listening and all of that. And another reason is it would just take so much time, and I don't have that because I'm doing these in the morning as part of my morning routine. And I just got to thinking that I should probably tell you guys this up front, just to be open with you, especially given the name of the channel, as that might worry or even offend some people. I'm thinking that I'll put this in the channel description as well, but a quick reason that it is called ADHOLAS, or Adolas for short, is when I was young. Okay, maybe we should start with the obvious statement here. I have ADHD. In some regards of my, in some aspects of my life, it's a benefit. In others, it's a handicap. So I see it as a trade-off. I can do things that a lot of people can't, but at the same time, there are things that a lot of people can do that I can't do, or that I have difficulty with. One of the things I can do is be a little more out there, like this. I don't really have impulses. Well, I do. Sorry, I'm gonna rephrase that. This is just an impulse to make this. And yes, I've been preparing it, I suppose, but it's an impulse to just get started. It's an impulse to upload it to YouTube. And I learned a few years ago that sometimes listening to these impulses makes sense. I've been taught my entire life to ignore them, to try to suppress my impulses, but it's human to have impulses. It's not just because of my ADHD. It's just because I'm a person. And regular people wouldn't necessarily suppress their impulses just because they're impulses. And so I need to find a balance in that. But I have found that just giving into it actually makes more sense for me. Yeah, so now that that's out there, I've got ADHD. And when I was younger, I knew this couple. I was a teenager at this point, maybe 14, 15 or something, and I was playing a very popular video game. And I was in a guild, a group of people led by a couple, a married couple, where the husband had ADHD. And he was actually the one who taught me back in the day to refer to it as Adolas, because to him that was kind of taking the power back over something that he had been bullied for and berated for, and just, people had tried to make him someone he was not, and calling it Adolas, making a little joke, it suited his personality better, and he didn't like the word disorder, so he just stuck to it. He definitely wasn't the one who invented it. He never claimed to be, and I don't believe that he was. But he did use it in his daily life. He never told people he had ADHD, he told people he had Adolas. Because to him, it wasn't a disorder, it was just part of who he was. And he actually loved that part of himself. So it is not a joke about people with ADHD. It is not meant to offend. It is not meant to look down on anyone. I actually very purposefully chose the lettering in the banner. The fonts are, the top one is ASAP, and the bottom one is Bravehearted. And I felt like those both communicate something about ADHD, at least for me personally. So to those of you who were wondering about that or worried about that, I hope that you now understand a little better why the channel is named the way that it is. And I'm not planning on changing it anytime soon, because that would be giving up the power that this man taught me back in the day. He gave me this power, and I'm extending that. And I'm hoping that a lot of people with ADHD, or not a lot, but just anyone really with ADHD, might come across this channel and find that it helps them. I think that would be really nice. And that's another reason that I don't try to edit myself. I don't want to be one of those people on Instagram where everything in their life looks so perfect. But the truth is that all the mess and the dirt and grime, it's all hiding right outside the frame. That's not me. My mess, my dirt, my grime, it's mixed up and entangled with everything else in my life. And I want it to stay that way. And I'm gonna keep trying to clean it off, sure. But I don't want to pretend that life is perfect when it isn't, especially not in the event that someone out there with ADHD watches a person on YouTube with ADHD and this person just seems to have it all together. No, I don't even have it in me to edit these videos or to listen them through. I don't know how great this is. I don't know how bad this is either. And so that is my superpower in a sense. That I can do that. I don't know what I'm getting at here, honestly. I think the point I'm making is that this is me. This is purely me. And if you want to make fun of that, if you want to look down at that, go ahead. I hope you won't, and please keep it to yourself, to be honest. I don't really want you coming into the comments and all of that. It's more so that I don't expect people to enjoy this. I don't expect people to think of this as something incredible or amazing or something they have to watch every single day. I'm just hoping that some people out there might find this and figure that it's helpful. And it doesn't have to be people with ADHD. It could be anyone, really. Whether it's some other thing like anxiety, or it is nothing at all. Maybe you are completely neurotypical. That's what we call quote-unquote normal people. Just because the word normal isn't that great. It signifies that I'm not normal, and I honestly feel pretty normal. When I look around my classmates, I find myself to be above normal in some areas. It's like, isn't it normal to be able to go out in front of an audience and present? Because all you got to do is turn off your brain and just go at it. And those so-called normal people, who I am gonna try to remember to refer to as neurotypical people, they don't agree with that. They have inhibitions, they have limitations, and I think that's pretty great that I don't. And I often find myself helping other people learn to not have those inhibitions, to not put those limitations on themselves. I'm gonna pat my own back for a second here and tell you that throughout my life, I have... Scratch that. First, the bad. Throughout my life, especially when I was younger, I've done a lot of bad things. I was not a good kid. I mistreated myself and everyone around me. And it's a miracle that I'm alive at this point. I don't really believe in holy miracles or anything. I just use it as kind of like, it's surprising to me that I actually made it through. But I did. And throughout mostly my adult life, I have found that I'm actually pretty useful. I have helped a lot of people. I've helped people I've barely known in ways that I hadn't imagined myself. Last Christmas, I received a message from someone I had talked to one time 9 months earlier, telling me about how she just wanted to thank me for helping her get out of a toxic relationship. And I want to extend that. Like, that's the kind of power I have. And she's not the only one. I have helped other people both in real life and online. And I've actually managed to turn all of that suffering, all of that horribleness, because I didn't just suffer. I was a bad person when I was younger. But I've grown from it and I've learned from it. And I've managed to do something good with that. And so I want to keep doing good. Which is also why, yes, this is mostly for me to rant. I make this channel for me, but I am still hopeful that someone out there might find it, just stumble upon it randomly, and find it helpful. I don't know if you do. I hope you do. And I'm new to YouTube, so this whole YouTube thing is weird to me. Actually, I'm new to social media in general. I don't even use Facebook. I have Facebook because I'm forced to be part of like groups for this or for that, but I never go there. I never use it. I've never had Snapchat or Instagram or any of those things. I'm very new to social media. So it's going to take me a while to get used to being in the spotlight, because even if I don't have any subscribers or any people watching, it's still kind of putting yourself out there. And yeah, so with that said, starting tomorrow, I'm hoping to be able to talk a little less meta and maybe just rant about my day to day or something like that. And as per the YouTube ritual rules, I gotta remind you to like, subscribe, and comment. All of it would help out tremendously, to be honest. So go ahead, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe. If you comment, I have something to talk about tomorrow, or the day after that, or the day after that. Don't worry, I don't expect anyone to even be here for the first long while. So hopefully I'll get a little better at this in the meantime. And I'll get a little less shy, because I am shy. Anyway, I have rambled long enough. I hope that you'll enjoy the concept. I hope that you'll stick around with me. I think this is going to be great. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.